Do you think lots of... Let's see. I'm a supervisor in a call center. It's skilled labor, but at the bottom of the job market. I know I'm justifying, and for the most part, it's not bad work. Some have an idea what we need to do versus what the job requires. Do you have thoughts on... Do you think lots of typos on a therapist's website is a good reason to avoid the therapist? Yes, but that's somewhat a personal value of mine, mother. It means that you haven't put care into your website in the way that you're putting yourself out there. And to me, like, that's a really important thing to do.
Sam, access the Lake Knot City delivery terminal.
Like, it's just I don't know. I like somebody who puts effort into the way that they put themselves out there. You know, one typo, okay, no big deal. Maybe like a weirdly worded sentence, that's fine. But yeah, if there's like a whole string of typos and it seems like it's a half-ass profile, yeah, I'm not into it. Well, I mean, it makes sense, Assassin. I mean, people say like, oh yeah, you know, I really like football players or whatever. But I think, again, it's like, you know, at some point you got to take people at who they are rather than who you want them to be.
Beginning scan.
Some friends and I did Pit of Heresy today. Oh yeah, it's a blast, Coder. Hello, Zoiku. What's up, Jared? Give you a personal example. Someone attempt to help peer supporting in my server. I talked to them to first see what kind of person they were. After a week of what seemed like genuine conversation and friendship, they had gained my trust, but had weaved disarray with members in the server with faking accounts and mind games. That's so shitty. Going back, there were warning signs, but they were doing it for fun just to hurt me and others. That's really shitty, Larina, and I'm really sorry that that happened. That's awful.
So we figure out... Do that? All right.
That's real. Ugh. I don't know. Like, what a waste of time, right? Like, I don't understand why people waste their time doing shit like that. Oh man, I can't carry all this.
This is a somewhat unusual order.
Yeah.
You're going to want to review the key points in the summary.
Other than it's exciting for them.
An empty container
Trolling's
fake ID, aka
a problem.
could be useful for fooling folks who can't get enough of other people's.
What? Smoke emitting decoy cargo. Okay, I don't care. I don't want to make that. Were you able to like isolate the person out, Lirina, and get them banned? I mean, that's why like I don't mess around with boundaries on bannable offenses. Like if you're gonna do shit like that, you're out. I'm not messing with it. Why do people troll? You know, I've often wondered that myself, Lirina. I think there's some kind of very basic, really basic satisfaction that people get out of getting a rise out of other people. It's a way to feel powerful. It's a way to feel like you're in control of a given situation. And there's people that get satisfaction out of the harm of others. And the anonymity of the internet makes it a lot easier to exert your power that way. It's maybe sometimes a way of maintaining control in a space when you feel out of control elsewhere. But I think in some ways it's a case-by-case thing on why a person would troll. You know? Okay, so she would want me to do stuff for her, but not do stuff for me. She also mentioned a lot that she wanted stuff, which I think was she was manipulating me because she seemed to be hanging out with me. Yeah, I mean, it's never a fair... Relationships go two ways, Assassin. You should never feel like you are overextending and giving and not receiving. Like, relationships are a two-way street. Whether it was manipulation or not, I mean, it's hard for me to say. But
Have a pleasant journey.
hello, Vex. What are my top 3 games? Destiny 2 is my top one. Are you talking all time, Anthony, or are you talking to like stream? Because I would answer that very differently. Hello, Wombat.
Territory. Move fast and quiet.
Colleges are businesses, the exact opposite of colleges are
Think that their
businesses.
parents
Yes,
were
indeed.
porters like you who risk life and limb to try
Professor
and keep
resigned
our
from his
country
job at
together.
Columbia University because he thought colleges
Now
are
their
becoming
working children
communist.
carry on the work without
That's
any understanding
weird.
of what it once meant.
Random question. Do you know what
It's a
experiential
ritual
therapy?
event.
Yes. Yes, I do.
The delivery.
Mentioned it, but we didn't elaborate on what it is. And it was like a flyby statement.
And they'll be coming for you to get their next fix.
So, Wolfer, there are many different types of experiential therapy. There's like symbolic experiential, humanistic experiential, emotionally focused therapy. Like, there's a whole bunch of them. But in general, experiential therapy, the idea behind experiential therapy is that you're getting people in touch with their genuine experience of the world. The focus is on authenticity. It's on being able to pay attention and understand the way that you emotionally are invested in the world and the way that inputs from the environment facilitate emotional responses. So like emotionally focused therapy is all about warm startups, facilitating attachment, that kind of thing. Symbolic experiential therapy is all about getting people to experience their authentic emotions no matter what they are.
Look at all those moats packed tight and shiny.
So a lot of times
You're
when
getting
people are
paid
doing
today.
experiential therapy, the whole focus from the therapist point of view is to get the client into a more genuine emotional space, whether that's anger, whether that's sadness, whatever it might be. So what you might ask, Wolfer, if you're more interested in that or want to know specifically where they're going with it, is what type of experiential therapy are we talking about here? And then I could give you more specifics. Or so could your therapist. It's also easier to get attention. Let's see. Oh, I got you, D. Okay. All time? Star Fox 64 is my favorite game of all time, Anthony. And then I would say I'd say Destiny is up there, and the Mass Effect series. I don't know that I could narrow it down to specific games, but Star Fox 64 has always been my favorite game of all time.
Have a pleasant journey.
Thank you for those bits, Gizmo. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. My family is like that, antagonistic. They pick on you until you capitulate. They get off on that. It's one of the reasons I'm in Florida and they're in northern New York. Yeah, it's really a shame, Hoffman, how many families will do stuff like that. You know, that the way you exert power in a family is to be antagonistic, and it's all power. I mean, humans at our core, humans are animals, and power is important in the animal kingdom. Power and control. We all vie for resources, and we all learn different ways of vying for resources. Different families have different ways of doing it.
Weapons restrictions.
It's quite fascinating to me. It's why I like what I do. Hello, Uncle Bill.
Keep on keeping on.
She ended up bringing it up because of my artwork. Oh, cool. Yeah, so maybe there's like something in there about like, oh, we can get you to help you access your emotions through your art. Something like that. Also, I can't get over how beautiful this game is. Absolutely gorgeous. I forgot my glasses. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. Someone asked me a question today, and I was curious about your answer to it would be, an intrusive thought is not necessarily obsessive, but are obsessive thoughts intrusive? I think a person defines whether their thoughts are intrusive or not. You could have an obsessive thought that's welcomed. Like, you could obsess over something that you're fine with obsessing over, whereas intrusive generally suggests that the thought that's coming into your mind is not something that you want to be recalling or spending time thinking about. So that's how I would answer that question. So an intrusive thought does not have to be obsessive. It can just be a thought that pops in and then leaves. And an obsessive thought could be intrusive if it was an obsessive thought you don't want. What are yours, Anthony? Like, I wouldn't mind getting her stuff, but I would always tell her that I don't have enough money since I'm not old enough to get a job yet. She would sometimes want to hang out. I would tell her that we could go skating. And the skating rink doesn't close till like 11. So I was good on that. Okay. Always felt to me that the animal quality that makes people need a sense of power leads to many self-destructive qualities. Yeah, I would agree with that, Lemon. Oh, God. Oh, so this is why those... Okay, so this is why I had that thing with the mules, because they're going to come after me. Oh, God. Haul ass, man. I just need to make this delivery. That was my answer, too. Just wanted to ask a doctor. Wow, that was going to be my next one, Jared, was to ask what your answer was. Glad we're on the same page, bud. I'm not surprised about that, though. Come here. You know what? Yeah, come here. I'm going to come right at you. Oh. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This guy's a little bit stronger than those other guys were. Oh my God, there's so many of them. I've never been able to answer why I draw what I draw. I simply just draw. Before therapy, I'd never even truly looked into anything more than that. Before she started asking why I draw, I didn't even think about it at all. It was in my head that I was drawing it. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, sometimes you just draw to be creative. I used to do art just to do it. I don't know that I would have even put any specific meaning behind it, but oh my God. Yeah, D, you gotta get a link permit, man. If I got a, do I got a mod in here? If I got a mod in here to give D a permit for that, I'm okay with that. It actually made me break out the DSM for the first time in a while. Ah, that good old purple book, huh? Resident Evil 4, Bloodborne, Metal Gear Solid 3. I used to try... What the hell? Oh, I'm out of stamina. Okay. I started Bloodborne, and I didn't really like it too much, Anthony, but I could see why people would like it. Thank you, Victoria. Where the hell? Oh, go over there. I can feel the burning in my throat from all that running. Yeah, me too, man. That was intense. It's sort of cheap that they give me an adrenaline burst while I'm in mule territory so that I can just book it infinitely. Maybe it's all that monster energy being put to good use. By the way, anybody who's lurking, hi. You don't have to come out of lurk to say hi. I just want to let you know I see you and I'm glad you're here. I'm also really happy that all of you are hanging out with me tonight on this lovely Saturday evening. I do hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. This game is a Jeff Bezos dystopia. It really is. Maybe use me blades. Skitters deeper into the shadows.
Delivering cargo.
Hello, Scott Cat, as the hello. I didn't mean to pull you guys out of lurk, but just want to let you know I see you and I appreciate you. One example of trolling to extreme is swatting. Oh God, yeah, swatting is dangerous. That is like, it's a horrible thing that people do. All right, Hoffman, have a good night, man. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you sleep well. I want to know where Conan is, because isn't Conan's in this game, isn't he? Thanks for the sub, Asdi. Appreciate it, man. There we go. Got that awesome stamp of approval. Hello, Honey Badger. Conan is 100% this game. You're getting there. Okay. I'm excited. Would you be streaming the Game Awards December 12th? Probably not. I'm not really into like doing streams where I have like videos and stuff playing, like watching the Game Awards or whatever. Those aren't very fun. I don't like watching them, and I certainly, like, I don't know. It'd probably be boring for you guys if I did that.
It's about Fragile. You might have heard she helped terrorists. That she didn't
I
care
just
who
tuned
got
in
hurt.
and literally a minute ago and was like, he sees me. I do see you, Skog.
People put their lives on the line to get us
You
what we
see me, I see you. Good to have you in here.
through and through. Look,
I just ate a peanut butter cup and there was no peanut
the
butter.
only world I've ever known is within these walls.
File
So when
that
people talk
complaint.
about America,
How could you eat a
can't
peanut?
even begin to
That's
imagine.
terrible. There's nothing
But if that
worse.
Cupid connects me to everyone else, I won't have
Where does Tony Hawk Pro Skater rank in
yeah,
your all-time list? It's
wanna
probably
play
in
this
like the
game.
top
to
25.
see what I've been missing.
It's got to be the original though. Here I am, doing everything I can. Holding on to what I have, pretending I'm a Superman. Dun, 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 dun. It's the best soundtrack in any video game ever, and none will ever surpass it. Oh shit, I'm crying. That means some shit's about to go down. And you ain't kidding about therapy pets, Lemon. You are not kidding. Best PS4 game? I love The Last of Us. Last of Us, Detroit, this. Journey. I really like Journey. I didn't play Uncharted 4 yet. I need to play that. Hey, I got the legs. Death Stranding is really good for chill streams. Oh, it's perfect, Skog. I mean, I can just chat and play this and not really think much of it, and it's awesome. Because I prefer to pay attention to chat, so that's why I do this in Destiny, because it's easy for me to chat and talk to everybody while I play.
Oh yeah, I've got a little something I'd like you. Works
I'm
perfectly.
sure this
in
is the
Sim.
legs he's talking about.
And if
I
it
got
makes
gifted
your
a subs
job
on
a
the
little
Zine
easier,
stream last
all
night.
the
My day
better.
was going really bad since I had to do marksmanship, charity C, standing position, and then I learned that she actually did get a new boyfriend, which doesn't bother me as much as it did last week since I just ignore and distract myself, and I got over a bit.
Sam.
Well, I'm glad you got a sub to
Skeletons attached to
Zine.
your
That's
legs
awesome.
can augment your physical capabilities.
Crying in
The
this
one you
game
got
is
there
an
a
allergy
low-grade
reaction. It is
AS.
indeed.
Just wearing an AS will provide additional support. Go ahead and take it for a spin.
You won't be disappointed. Yeah, I will. Beautiful.
Thank you kindly. Come around again soon.
Good work. New order
Then that really cheered me up. I'm glad it did. Halo. Oh man. Well, Lemon, I would put Halo. Halo's in my top 10, easily. Easily. I'm so excited for Master Chief Collection to come out on PC.
All right.
Pumped. Crazy
Sam.
Taxi has the best soundtrack. That it does have a good soundtrack. I agree.
You can now submit upgrades.
I crossed the lake
If there's one
on
you use a lot, you should
Thursday,
definitely consider
gamer.
it. That's one prepper way station.
Detroit was fun. By the way, I have the Detroit playthrough. I keep posting them weekly on YouTube, but they're private links, so you have to be in the Discord to get the link. I don't have the whole playthrough, but I've got most of it. One thing I've noticed from watching Sage is that she loves to scream, startle, and agitate.
all
I have to remind
those
myself it's
moats
just her streaming
packed
style.
tight and
Yeah,
shiny.
I'm not quite like that.
You're getting paid
But I
today.
appreciate that about her. Thank you for those bits, Wolfer. That's incredibly kind of you. Custom made intent construction tools. That's perfect because I have to go back to Lake Knot City anyway. All right, there we go. You gotta stare at Norman Reedus' chest when you're in the private room twice. Wait, have I not?
Order assigned.
Is he do something else? Obviously. Sorry if you saw this and I didn't respond because my Discord is loud, but you gotta stare at. Oh yeah. All right, I'll do that next time I'm looking at him, Victoria. Make sure you remind me if I forget, but I will try to make sure I do that. I would agree. D, absolutely. And his feet. I did his feet. He just like taps them. Elon just announced his new Cybertruck. My favorite meme about it was the one that made it into the Halo Warthog. I like that. Somebody also turned it into the Mako from Mass Effect, which I really liked. That was pretty cool too. I'm playing Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's incredibly frustrating but addicting at the same time. You know, Old Canuck gifted me that, and I still have not played it yet. I've been preoccupied with some of these other games, but I plan to play that at some point. Whether it'll be on stream or not, I don't know. You deserve them all, especially if it helps keep doing what you're doing here. Well, that's very kind of you to say, Wolfer. It does help me keep doing what I'm doing here. All of the bits and subs and all the money that I take in from that goes directly into the stream in the form of like paying off some of the equipment that I've bought for it. Oh my god. These guys just don't let up. And then all tips go to the merch that I'm trying to get set up so that we can have stickers and stuff. But I do appreciate it a lot. There's an Easter egg with the feet. It's rare though. Oh, interesting. I did get fancy exosuit legs. I'm looking good, man. I shouldn't feel guilty. I used my Prime sub on Satan. No, D. Absolutely not, man. Use that Prime sub on whoever you want to use it from. Look, guys. I mean, this goes to everybody, not just you, D. Like, I will never, in the entirety of my streaming, however long I do this, which I hope is for a very, very long time, I will never, ever, ever expect any of you to sub or tip or send bits or whatever. I appreciate that you do it. It means a lot to me, those of you that do, but it doesn't, I take no offense to you using Twitch Prime subs with anybody else and supporting other streamers that you like. I love Sage. If you want to use your Twitch Prime sub on her, I'm down, man. No hard feelings here, dude. And then Wolfer swoops in and sends you a sub. So there you go, D. Wolfer, thank you very much for that gifted sub. That was really kind of you to do. All right, Uncle Bill. Have a good night, Uncle Bill. It was good to have you in here, man. I'll definitely tip when I get my first paycheck. You don't have to do that, but that is very kind of you if you do, gamer. He would do this for free, in other words. My entire goal with this is to make this information accessible to people. So I will never hide any of the stuff that I do on this stream, like the mental health stuff. I won't hide it behind a paywall. I'm not into that. I'm not into the idea of like getting to a point where it's like, hey guys, I'll only answer your question if you tip $5. Like, I'm not doing that. That is not my MO. It never has been. I'm excited to play Death Stranding. I'm supposed to get it soon. It's a blast, Anthony. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think about it constantly.
Hey, Sam. Good to see you. Guys like
Are you playing Mech Warrior? It kind of feels like that.
Thank you, Sam.
What's up, Playful? Is this Yakuza 0? I'll only turn off face cam if you donate $50. Yeah, I'll take my ugly mug off the screen if you donate $50. I don't know. I can't see. I'm not even good at that because I mean, K-Girl literally tipped me to not say the S word, and I've said it so many times.
Until the next delivery, then. Stay safe.
If I do get a job, then I will sub to you, since I enjoy watching you and you're chill to talk to. Well, that's kind of you to say, Assassin, man. The thing that I mean, honestly, the only reason I wish everybody in here could have a sub is so that you don't have to watch ads, because I hate watching ads on Twitch streams. It's awful. The S word is SQUIRT, Playful. So I assume that... Oh, here we go. Make that delivery. Moist is not a... That's not a banned word. Nobody has tipped me to not say moist. Think of it as another paycheck from GameStop. Well, it's been probably... I think it's been 6 years.
Everything looks to be in perfect conditioning.
I want to say 2013 is the last time I got a paycheck from GameStop. And when I worked at GameStop, they paid me $7.25 an hour back in the day. That was minimum wage in Indiana when I worked there. Crazy. But the discount you get at GameStop is pretty good. And I don't know if GameStop still does the whole thing where you can check out games. GameStop does this thing where the people who work there are allowed to check out games for like 2 nights or a night and play them. And then we used to, if we could check out brand new games, take them home, play them, we'd bring them back, and then we'd shrink wrap them in the back, and then they'd get sold as new. I don't think they do that anymore, but that was the thing back in the day. It was, and the idea behind it was so that game advisors could tell customers what the games were like. That was well before the esports boom, right? Oh, yes. Well before the esports boom. How can you take the bite of power of cruel words from family? Bite of the power... How can you take the bite, the power of... Maybe use me, Blade. Can you re-ask me that question? I want to make sure I understand what you're asking me. I think I know, but I don't want to like give you an answer and then it be completely off base. We get paid $9 and they still do it. They still do it. How about it? Did you work at the GameStop on Purdue's campus? I did not, Gizmo. I worked in my hometown of Valparaiso, Indiana. But I got many games at that GameStop on Purdue's campus. I remember doing the midnight opening for Halo Reach, for Halo Combat Evolved, like the Xbox 360 updated version. Bought a lot of good games at that GameStop. It was funny. I just saw a tweet the other day that was like, don't treat streamers like therapists. And then I find your stream where you're explicitly... So I am not doing therapy on stream. I have to be clear about that. I am not doing therapy on stream. However, I do give information about therapy and mental health and that sort of thing. But I appreciate the compliment, Skog. Is there actually a psychology to adult male MLP fans, aka bronies? I'm sure there is, but I am not learned enough in it to really be able to say much about it.
Thank you for your contribution.
I agree, Vex. We can see the demise of GameStop coming from a mile away. Family is important to me, but I disappoint them while doing nothing more than living life as I want, not the life they want for me. Their words cut me deep. Yeah, that can happen. Maybe use me. There's this whole thing in family therapy. There's a concept called differentiation, that the idea is that you have to be able to see yourself as both part of a system but also individual from it, and that we have a choice as we become adults. We have a choice of who we keep around.
Hey,
and that if family is nasty to us and doesn't really facilitate health, that we have the ability to set limits and boundaries with those family members and recognize what anxiety in the system is ours versus what is the system's.
Have a pleasant journey.
But it's hard. It's hard for family not to cut deep because they're close relationships, and they're relationships that we often think should be strength, not detrimental. Wow, my emphasis was on the wrong syllable in like 2 of those words there. You know, how to make them not cut deep, maybe that's a hard one. You know, it takes time for that kind of thing. I heard a word that triggered me today. I know it's been around. Rear and mid-engine cars have had them forever, but when the rise of EVs, we're hearing that word. I've never heard that word before in my life, Nix. We have a guy who keeps checking out Fallen Order to play it. There you go. What's up, Diduck? I just checked my YouTube watch time statistics. I spent 31 hours watching YouTube in a week. I'm just now realizing how bad I'm addicted to YouTube. YouTube does a really good job of keeping people hooked and watching. Like, the whole way that YouTube is set up to do that is pretty crazy. So you just do Q&A then? Yep, I do, Skog. I can't ethically do therapy on stream, so that's why all the disclaimers and stuff are in my profile. I can talk about mental health. I can give general information. I can give resources. I can point people in the right direction, that kind of thing, but I can't give any professional advice because nobody here is my client. Hey, it's Zeph's boyfriend. She fell asleep while I was holding her. I'm going to go to sleep as well. Thanks for the stream and have a great night. Well, have a great night to you too, Zeph's boyfriend. And good night to her as well. I appreciate you coming in and like saying hi to me, and then yeah, take good care of her and take care of yourself. Regis has gotten thick. I know. You guys like my loins now? Too bad Zine's not here to look at my loins now. My expanded loins. Yeah, it's nothing new, but this one was fresh. It sucks. I empathize with how horrible that can be, maybe. For whatever that's worth. Hello, Derp. It's a terrible sounding word. That's why I didn't say it out loud. Oh god, I saw that on Twitter and was a little confused. Yeah. It's because we were talking about me carrying all the stuff in this game, and Zine was like, man, you must have like a strong core or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, you should see my loins. I hope you're doing well today also, Derp. By the way, for anybody who's shuffled in here recently, feel free to tell me how you're doing. I'd love to hear how you're doing and how your weekend's going. Also, Rizky Wibowo. I don't think I said that right, but thank you for the follow. And somebody a while back asked me if I watch Rick and Morty. Yes, I do. I wasn't... the most recent episode, episode 2 of season 4, was just okay to me. I loved episode 1. But, I don't know, episode 2 fell a little flat for me. Let's get crunk in the frunk while we're drunk. That's what I'm talking about. When do you have the time? You saying that to me, Nix? I'm good. I need to get off the couch eventually. Got that evening inertia problem. Ah. Is it like a restless legs thing, Skog? I have restless legs and it's awful. So other than the thickening, what have I missed? So we're up in Minnesota now. Playful. I took a boat across this giant crater that was filled with water. And beyond that, I don't quite know too much more about what's going on. We're just trying to keep connecting the network. And then Fragile needs me to do some stuff because apparently her delivery service has been running into issues. That's all I know. Episode 1 was a solid 8 out of 10. I would agree with that score. Snow's melted here in Wisconsin, so now I have to rake tomorrow. Ugh. Good night, Gappy. Good to have you here, man. Oh, you're so busy. Yeah, you know, it helps that I don't sleep a lot, Nix. I mean, I work, well, okay, so I work maybe 25 hours a week, like seeing clients and stuff, and then I work maybe another 5 doing supervision stuff, and then the rest, if I'm not streaming, I'm chilling out. Because now that I'm not in academia anymore, I'm not worried about writing and doing research and all that BS. So I've got more time now to be able to like watch Rick and Morty and listen to podcasts and all that kind of thing, which I really love. My life has been way happier since July. Way happier. I have more time to do that stuff than I ever did. So it's kind of relative for me because this time last year I was so overwhelmed and swamped with just way too much shit going on that it would have blown your mind I still look back and wonder how I managed to stream as much as I did this time last year. It's really remarkable to me. Yes, yes, of course I'm a Rick and Morty fan, Assassin. Of course. I'm gonna look it up now. Leave you in the background. No worries, Assassin. I couldn't see Death Stranding being an esport. Nope, I don't either, unless you were talking about speedruns, D. But no, I don't think so. Been over a year since I've been out of work. I've been getting job interviews, but not any jobs that have been thinking of going back to school. I have depression, anxiety. Not having a job has been stressing me out, and it's been hard for me to sleep. Do you have any advice on how to not stress or worry? Oh, if I had that advice that was just like lockdown, airtight, Anthony, I'd be a millionaire. There's so many different ways that we can... Okay, so I'm going to just say in general, honestly, one of the best ways to navigate stress is to first acknowledge that stress is happening. And to... I don't want to say appreciate it or be okay with it, but stress is there whether we acknowledge it or not. I think it's all about noticing that we're stressed and then making conscious choices about how do we talk to ourselves while we're stressed out, and then what do we do? Do we engage in things that make us more stressed, or do we engage in things that mitigate the stress? And can you be intentional about the things that mitigate the stress? Worrying is okay. Stressing is okay. Often it becomes really demoralizing and distressing when we spend more time than is good for us attending to those worried thoughts. So, I mean, usually what I'm helping people do is acknowledge their stress and the impact that it has on them, and then helping them make decisions about what to do so that they can feel like they're more in control of what's going on in their life. Since you don't sleep that much, do you prefer night or day? I prefer day. I don't do particularly well when it is as dark as it is right now, as often as it is. Sleep is important, but for my entire life, I sleep 4 to 6 hours a night, and it's been like that my entire life. If I sleep more than that, I feel awful. Thanks, gamer. I think it's hilarious that pretty much the entire Rick and Morty series was basically leading up to them wanting to get back to dipping sauce from McDonald's. It was the way they did that was fabulous. Lurk is a command. Stress can be an important motivational tool sometimes, can't it? Yes, it can. Sometimes wanting to break through the stress can be really motivating, and sometimes just there's healthy stress. Stress is not bad. Chronic stress is bad. So chronic stress leads to a whole bunch of physiological issues, whereas being at a baseline level of stress that makes it so that you're getting work done and doing things is not bad. We have this tendency to think that all stress is bad, and that's not true at all. So did you not like Gluty? I liked Gluty. I just thought the whole storyline thing with the toilet was like, I don't know. See, the thing is, if that episode would have been in season 1, I probably would have liked it more, but they've put out so much awesome stuff that now they basically are their own worst enemy, because some of the stuff they put out now is... It's like if it's average by Rick and Morty standards is better than most.
You're not with Fragile Express.
But it just, I don't know. Gluty was cool.
I get it. Bridges is using their
I just tell myself that there's no reason to stress over this. Then I try to acknowledge. So that's the thing, is oftentimes when we get stressed out, we say things to ourselves like, you shouldn't be stressed out. And we polarize against that stress. And that doesn't really do people any good. It doesn't do you any good to polarize against your own emotional experience. All it does is just pile on. Because now not only is life being shitty to you, you're being shitty to you about life being shitty to you. It's like you join in on the chorus and start like shitting all over yourself while life's shitting on you. And that's just, the compounding of that is not great. As you guys know, I always preach compassion and patience, man. It's, those two things go such a long way.
What's your angle anyway?
I get why people engage in negative self-talk, but you know, engaging in alternative self-talk can really make a difference for people.
But here you are, filling in, keeping business alive.
If you're looking for something to watch, I highly, highly recommend his Dark Materials on HBO, BBC. What's that about, Lemon?
Don't try sweet talking me.
I sleep about 3 to 5 hours a night most of the time. Much more than that is normally a strong indicator for me that I'm either getting sick or that I'm taking on too much. Wow, 3 to 5. 3 is not enough for me, but I mean 4 to 6. I guess my threshold's only 1 hour or more.
Keep my deliveries coming. We'll get along just fine.
What's up, Gecko?
Don't need any trouble. Though I will say, I appreciate
You got to give his Dark Materials 3 episodes. All right, so you got to commit.
There's a lot of freelance porters operating.
First episode is super boring to me. Hello, Ocho. Yuri. Hi, Yuri. I have a condition where I act out my dreams when I'm asleep. I kick and punch furniture, or wake up on the floor in the corner of the room. Do you know anything about this? Encountered it generally? Yes, but not professionally, Yuri. I have that issue sometimes. I've struggled with night terrors and nightmares my entire life, and there have been times where I thrash around and it's been bad. So I have encountered it myself, but professionally, I don't really do too much work with sleep stuff. So I would love to know more about it and to know how to stop it also. But I managed when I was a kid to figure out a way to pull myself out of dreams when they were lucid. And that took a lot of conditioning and preparation. And I don't even know how legitimate it is, other than I know that it works for me. But I love the disdain when when you like that when Gecko says my name. I just read my name as you, Gecko. We are merging. It's hard to explain. It has armored bears in it. One of the main characters is on a quest to murder God. The actor who plays Xavier plays him, and the girl from Logan is the main actor. Interesting. What's up, Lollipop? Any more than 3 nights is terrible. Check out Sleepless Elite. Is that like a documentary? Recovery tool. Oh, so I got to go to the... Okay. I'll do it.
The toolkit you're looking for ought to be in my old shelter.
I for real sleep hard. I never wake up. Even if I get jump scared into a nightmare, it just keeps going or changes the dream to something else. Yeah, I sleep pretty deeply, but there's this whole... So you guys may find this interesting, but I started to notice this pattern in my lucid dreams where there are... Oh, man, I'm going to try to do my best to describe this. So in my dreams, when I know that I'm having a nightmare, the way that I can tell that I'm having a lucid nightmare is whatever scene I'm in or whatever story is going on will progressively get darker. It will get darker 3 times. And by that, what I mean is, like, if you have a camera and you literally made the image darker, that will happen 3 times. And it'll happen where either, like, I walk in a room and it gets darker, or like whatever it is, but it will get darker 3 times. And when it gets darker 3 times, it's usually a signal to me that I am in a nightmare, that this is not real. This is a nightmare. And then I will yank myself out of that nightmare. There's also a couple figures that if they show up, I know it's a nightmare, and I will pull myself out of it there. But there are times where I don't really realize I'm having a nightmare and I'm having a night terror, and I will wake up screaming and have absolutely no idea why. It scares the shit out of Allie every time that happens. But she now knows what to do when that happens. Am I one of the figures yet? Yes. The figure of Gecko. All of a sudden I get swarmed by geckos. It's just rare people who don't need much sleep. Yeah, I know Bill Clinton's like one of them, right? I suffer from night terrors and sleepwalking. I can't tell you how many times I've woken up somewhere in the woods by my house. It's always terrifying. Oh, wow. Holy shit. That would freak me out. I've never sleepwalked that intensely. I'm a lucid dreamer, but I find if I try to do stuff, I wake up with a headache. Interesting.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
What causes a nightmare? I don't entirely know, to be honest with you, Anthony. I do know that food can have some role in it. I know that and this is going to sound crazy, but if I eat spicy garlic wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, like within 4 to 5 hours of going to sleep, I am guaranteed to have a nightmare. Guaranteed. So garlic, I know, does it for me, and so does sugar. If I eat anything too sugary before I go to bed, I'm usually more likely to have a bad dream. I have no idea. I don't know the science behind it. I'm not making a scientific claim there. That is just anecdotally, I have found that garlic and sugar have this tendency to make my nightmares get worse. When were you planning on doing the Find a Therapist stream? I'm going to shoot to try to do one this week, Playful. I got tied up in this, and then that kind of got pushed away, but I'm going to try to do one this week because I think it's about time for me to do one. Is there a term for nightmares that come as lucid good dreams? So like thinking as a part of your life that you lost. I don't, if there is, I don't know it, Lemon. I even went so far as to get a lower bed and put the bed in the middle of the room with nothing around it. Some of my coping methods are to play audiobooks while going to sleep and leaving a fan on so I don't overheat. Yeah, Yuri. So I've seen that before. I used to have to play jazz music before I went to bed. It used to be really hard for me to fall asleep because I was afraid of nightmares. So I would keep myself up because I was so afraid of falling asleep, knowing that I'd have a bad dream. And so I started to do that. Like my parents helped me listen to, like, they put the jazz station on and I'd listen to smooth jazz while I went to bed when I was a kid. And then that turned into me always wearing earphones when I went to bed. And now I've got fans on in the room, and every once in a while I have to put earphones in, but not as often as I used to. Or funky cheese. Have you heard of the idea that everyone in our dreams is part of ourself? I have, Vex. I have heard that each person is it's just a different manifestation of you, and that everybody you're interacting with in your dream is just you. I like that. I don't know how true it is, but I think it's pretty neat. And yes, I am streaming tomorrow, Simu. I love jazz music when I listen to it. Yep. And the jazz station, that WNUA 95.5 in Chicago, is no longer on the airwaves. So it kind of bums me out when I go to 95.5 and it's a freaking country station because I hate country music. Oh boy. I always feel particularly bad for clients that have difficulty sleeping, as I luckily almost never had issues with sleeping. The few times I've had, it's always hit me hard. Yeah, I do too. Like when there's no worse feeling than wanting to fall asleep and not being able to. It really is horrible. I know when I'm in a nightmare, but I keep going. So let me give you an example. I had one where I was in an abandoned house. I guess 2 stories, dilapidated. Then I walked around the corner, saw some broken floorboards. It was about 1 meter in diameter. Went closer and noticed that there was something there. Interesting. Yes, I am in Chicago, Skog. Are you also in Chicago? Is that supposed to say deja vu, Lemon? If that's supposed to say deja vu, there's a theory about deja vu that the reason that people... Wait, it's Jameis vu. I don't know what Jameis vu is. The exact opposite of deja vu, where you feel like you've never been there before? I'm confused. Yes, I love the downtown area as well, Skog. Although I hate the weather here. That's really interesting, Assassin. Sneak past here. Hold on. Alright, good night, Simu. I hope you sleep well. Speaking of sleep. Something that seems very unfamiliar to you, but you've experienced it in some fashion. I suppose it could be lemon, but I don't know for sure because, like, I had never heard that term, so I don't want to make a call that somehow that is and then not be correct. Lost cargo, antique art. Yeah, I'll take some antique art. Hello, dawn of your day. How are you doing tonight? By the way, I'll do it to anybody who is new in here, who's lurking or hanging out or getting to know me a little bit. I am a licensed couple and family therapist. I do have a PhD in human development. I do this channel so that mental health information is more accessible to people. The community here is absolutely incredible. So I'm really glad you're here. Don't forget to repair your cargo. I don't think I have any spray on me. Oh, I do have. I do. Oh, thank you, Playful. Appreciate the assist, man. I'm doing very well, Don. Hanging out with some wonderful people, playing this game that I love so much. Zine, my man. How are you tonight, dude? Just casually schlepping the Mona Lisa around. That's right. Apparently the real Mona Lisa was housed in Minnesota, which is where we are right now. Can sociopaths fake cry? I was always told because they do not feel empathy, they cannot cry, but recently heard they can fake it and fake cry. I honestly have no idea, Wolfer. I don't do too much with sociopathy. That's not my wheelhouse clinically. Oh boy. All right, we're getting close. I find stuff like James Vu very interesting, like how you can find yourself in another room and have no idea how you got there, but know you have walked into the room. Well, sure. I mean, sometimes our brain is so preoccupied that we run on autopilot. It's kind of like sometimes if people are like, if you're driving somewhere and you zone out the entire time that you're driving, and then all of a sudden you're at your location, you're like, holy shit, how did I get here? I mean, the brain is remarkable how it can do so many things on autopilot while also attending to other stimulus. Do psychologists use the term sociopathy? Yeah. Psychopathy and sociopathy pretty much go as like synonyms for each other. I find deja vu to be interesting. The thing I was going to say about deja vu earlier was that deja vu is interesting because the theory behind that is that your brain codes the present. It misses short-term memory and it codes the present moment to long-term memory. So it thinks that it's retrieving the present moment from long-term memory, which is why it feels like you've been there before a long time ago. Really interesting. You know if BT locations are fixed? I do not. I think they kind of are, but then they like have these little spiky thingies that come up and move around, so.
Hey, you're gonna love this.
Yuri, thank you very much for that follow. I appreciate it. It's good to have you in here. I was just looking for Death Stranding streams. I wasn't expecting such an interesting chat, too. I get that a lot, Yuri. I'm glad you find it interesting, and I'm glad that you're here following and now part of the community. For those who are interested, I do have a Discord that's got over 500 people in it, and it's more of this type of chat. It's really a wonderful place. There's support. There's a Just Need to Vent channel. There's mental health resources. You can stay up to date on like all the YouTube mental health tidbits that I post. I post daily tidbits on YouTube along with like mental health lectures, all sorts of cool stuff like that. But yeah, this whole thing's about playing games and talking about mental health. So it's what we do. This week has brought me close to my breaking point. Thank you for having a channel that makes me not feel alone and being broken. Well, Ash, I'm really glad you're here. I don't take for granted that you just shared that with us. And you're welcome. I hope you hang out with us a lot more. I love having all of you here. Seriously, it's my honor that all of you spend your night with me. Like, it's Saturday night, and you guys are choosing to hang out with me, of all people. I do have a podcast, Anthony. It's called Podcast Sessions with Therapists that has some of the interviews that I've done in podcast form. So if you are interested in listening to those interviews, you can listen to them. I think there's only like 2 or 3 that are out, but I do have one. And I actually need to get any podcast service that you use, it should be on it. My pal Sean helps me put all that stuff together because he's really savvy with all of it. All right, you got to put if you're gonna tag the wrong motto, you got to tag the real motto too. New people in here are gonna be thinking we're shitting on them. Can I get out of here by climbing that? I really hope I can. What do you mean your streams are the best on here? I'm going to be watching you for a while and keeping you up to date on my relationship. Hey, by all means do that, Assassin. I love that you guys keep me posted on your lives and what's going on. But I know you guys like watching me, but I like that I get to hang out with you too. As I've said a few times, like, you guys are also my self-care. Like, I enjoy doing this. Playing games and talking with you guys and hanging out on stream is a blast for me. So this is just as much fun for me as it is for all of you. I know I'm such a weirdo. It's good to be a weirdo, though. You know, if you're not weird, you're boring. I don't know if that's true either. I don't mind being weird. I'm going to soothe my baby, though, if you guys don't mind. Come here, buddy. I tried streaming, didn't care for it. Yeah, you're just mailing it in. By the way, Zine. Oh, yeah, since Zine's here, just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing a Dead by Daylight stream with Zine and Lowbro at some point in December. Just so you guys know, I picked it up today. So if you like Zine, and you like me, and you like Lowbro, and you like the other people, that's going to go down. And I'm pumped to get my ass absolutely handed to me by Zine. Because supposedly... Zine, I fell asleep last night watching you guys play that. Not because it was boring. But because I just was tired. We all like you. Well, that's kind of you to say. This game should let you decorate the baby. Give it a little hat or a bow. I agree. I should be able to change the color of the amniotic fluid, too. Make him purple.
Okay, just a bit further now.
Zine strikes me as the type of dude who's good at everything he does. You know? Being modest by sitting back right now. I feel like I'd play every game as Michael Myers. Because I love Michael Myers. So every time I play as the killer, I'm going to be Michael Myers. I love lumbering around, being indestructible, and wearing that cool ass mask. He was kind of my signature move, but I've been branching out. You have cheered me up tonight, just like every night that I watch your stream. Well, Assassin, I'm so glad to hear that. Doing my best, man. I watched a webinar on Thursday called What Happens When Your Patient with SMI is Arrested, and it was really good.
What?
Who did it? That sounds awesome.
You actually went into that hell.
Is that something that's...
You don't know what this
Is
means
that
to me.
available?
A lot of memories in these old tools.
Like to anybody? Or do you have to be enrolled in whatever it is? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I should... SMI, severe mental illness. Oh, and thank you for clearing that up, Victoria. Severe mental illness.
Yes. Now we're talking. Where do you see the weapons I make with these? Sand bridges.
Was there something that stood out in terms of what you learned from that? Oh, boy. Victoria, can you send that to me on Discord, please? Thank you, thank you. I would love to watch that. Is it more oriented toward clinicians, or is it something that even like clients could watch and they would get something from it?
If they're running with Higgs now, and that makes them as bad as him, don't it? It's as if all the motherfucking terrorists are coming together like one big
Your best
family.
Your best is the best I've had in a while. Zine Stream is also supportive since they help me while I'm not watching you, and I want to thank everyone in this chat who's also subbed, and the lurkers. You've been noticed, and yes, I'm cheerful right now. Awesome, man.
Safety in numbers, huh? And the new America to boot. Connect me to the chiral network.
Ooh, Dr. Mick, if you're interested in mental illness in the criminal justice system, there's a court case in the Supreme Court about an insanity defense. It could have huge effects. I am not familiar with that. Is that happening right now, Hobo? What stood out to me was how much varies depending on how enlightened your area is, pretty much. If they're very aware of how mental illness can manifest itself behaviorally, then awesome. You might not be in jail overnight. See, that was the thing I loved about working on the suicide hotline in Lafayette, Indiana, was the Lafayette police and the Purdue police have an actual unit that is dedicated to mental illness stuff. So when I was working the suicide hotline, if I ever did have to make a call for a wellness check or whatever, they would send people from that unit to go handle that situation. So they were trained to actually know how to see what psychosis and whatever, or like severe mental illness looks like, so that they don't do the bad thing. It's pretty awesome. Bola gun? I wish there were more specialized units throughout the country. I would imagine that that's starting to grow, but...
Right.
It was argued October 7th. Basically, Kansas keeps that the insanity defense only needs intent. So Kyler argues that you can't tell right from wrong, then you aren't... Whoa.
Oh, by the way, check out this beauty I made.
Boy, that's an interesting
It's called
slope.
the Bola gun. Should keep anyone
It
from
describes the
getting in trouble
insanity
with it.
defense and a lot of other stuff. It could be possible for clients to see it, and they have stuff for patients' families, but the link I sent you is for clinicians, and the webinar was for clinicians. Okay. Oh, and that's totally fair, honey. I mean, it's...
A Bola gun, huh? That could come in handy.
Some of them are scary.
As is, you can use it to restrain human targets without killing them. But swap out those wires with strands spun from your blood, and it might even work on BTs. Go ahead. Give it a whirl.
What? I can restrain BTs? Okay. There we go.
Well, you've done your bit.
It's totally understandable, honey. I love how this game went from avoid at all costs to we're going to get them. No kidding. Like, I'm going to be shooting, like, little ropes around the GTs. Also, why can I not turn in this? Oh, there we go. Okay. Offload this stuff. I If I do get depressed, then I just do something that I like. Coding, reading, watching.
Delivering cargo.
It's important. Honestly, Assassin, like, it's really cool that you're able to do that. I know this always sounds unempathic, but doing things is truly one of the best ways to move through depression in a successful way. Like, doing something active, something that's engaging your brain, whatever it might be, even when you desperately don't want to, can make such a huge difference. Let's go ahead and pop this memory chip in. I wish I could wear an all-purple outfit. Sam,
You picked this up
this
for
is
me.
Die Hardman.
You shouldn't have. Really.
So, Zine, it's actually kind of funny that you asked that. When I was in grad school, a lot of people came in saying empathetic. And apparently, according to my master's program, therapists use empathic instead of empathetic. They both mean the same thing, but I've gotten in a habit of saying empathic. I don't really understand like why that's a thing, but if you hear me say empathic or empathetic, they're the same thing. I'm just pathic. Samples of food rations. I use empathetic. Of course you do, Gecko. Of course you do. It doesn't surprise me at all. Pathetic. That makes sense, actually. Yeah. Yeah, same thing. No right or wrong way to say it, unless you're Gecko. If I don't feel like getting up, sometimes I just watch YouTube, etc. I love watching streams that help. Yeah, I mean, that again, we all do what we can, and it's important to know the things that are going to help you feel better. I say it just like you. I know, we're one and the same. There we go. Whew. Colorado has a pretty bomb-ass mental health system. There are so many options to being arrested. Yeah, Colorado's doing it right. Illinois is okay. An empath is someone who can feel others' feelings. Empathy is relating to someone's feelings. Unempathic would mean would not be acting in a way someone who can feel others. Unempathetic would mean to not relate to others. So it makes more sense for empath to be directed at specialists, whereas empathy to be the generalized sense. Sure, and if you want to call like empathetic as being more in like a verb sense, whereas empathic is more of like an adjective sense, I think that's a totally fine way to approach it. Absolutely.
Thank you for your contribution.
Sam.
Good job, Sam. That's 2 prepper way stations integrated into the Cairo network. Just 1 more left.
I just can't pick out social cues. That can make things difficult, for sure. Empath makes me think of Star Trek. I'm not a Star Trek person, so I don't know Star Trek references, but I will absolutely take your word for it. So I'm going to make this delivery, and then that may be it for me tonight. I can feel the wall coming. Let's go. Man, these like leg things make this so much better. Well, have a good one then, Gecko. See you later, man. like I don't even know how I feel about the new Star Wars coming out. I really didn't like Episode 9. I know I'm opening up a can of worms here, maybe. I didn't like Episode 9, or Episode 8. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about 9. We'll find out. What are you looking at? Oh shit, I didn't even see that big ass mountain there. Wonder if I have to climb that at some point. If I wanted to send you hot sauce for Christmas, how would one do so? It's a really good question, Lemon. Because I don't have a P.O. box set up yet. I honestly have no idea how you would get hot sauce to me. I mean, I suppose you could like tip and then tell me what hot sauce to buy, and I would do that. But I don't know, because I don't have a PO box yet, so I'd have to give you my actual address. And it's not that I don't trust you, but I try not to give out my actual physical address, as you can imagine, so I don't get doxxed. Can you like summit actual mountains in this game? From what I understand, you can. I mean, I've seen in like previews and stuff where he's climbing snowy mountains, so I'm guessing I'm gonna have to go up that mountain at some point. We have the Colorado Peer Support Line, the Colorado Crisis Line, outpatient walk-in crisis clinics, mobile crisis teams, crisis stabilization units, and then inpatient acute care. We should have respite care, which is longer-term stays at crisis stabilization units, but it's not so fleshed out yet. That's still an impressive list. I was depressed for 3 years before I met my ex. She changed me after she broke up with me is when I wanted to learn code. Found my passion not tie up by her anymore since I want to follow my passion besides worrying about her, so I don't know how to read social cues. Well, if you don't mind me doing the tip at some point, I didn't want to do it and then set some condition you might not want to. Oh, no, I mean, I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with that, Lemon. Yeah, like if you were like, hey, here's $5, use it to buy this hot sauce, and here's the link, I would do it. It's probably easier to do it that way. Send it to your work office. Anyone could look it up anyways. Oh, you know what? I suppose that's true, Wolfer. That is true. This money is only for hot sauce. Yeah, Lemon, I could give you my work address. You could send something to my work address. That's an easy workaround. Because it's on my Psychology Today profile, so. If I didn't make it clear enough, I didn't pay attention to what everyone else is doing, and so I just sat at home and read over and watched anime. I hear you. Nothing wrong with that necessarily. I mean, I definitely hear, though, that it made things a little bit difficult, but give it to Sam and he can deliver it. There we go. He'd get it to me on time. I don't particularly... Oh, wait. Thank you, person who put this ladder here. I'll give you a like. Hey! Why am I yelling? What are you doing, Sam? You knucklehead. How would you go about treating Michael Myers as he was your patient? Oh, I'd be as terrified as the doctor in those movies. I mean, I know it's theoretical because Michael Myers isn't a real person. I can talk about not real people. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know. I would be utterly terrified.
Sam, he's our man.
I'm not equipped to work with that kind of thing. I'm not trained to work with it. I mean, he's cold-blooded, man. Like, that dude's got... Yeah, I'd be finding, like, the most secure facility possible and be getting the people there involved. What about Hannibal? Hannibal's an interesting one. It's hard to say because, I mean, the thing I don't like about like this type of scenario, right, where you say, what would you do with Michael Myers or what would you do with Hannibal? The thing that I struggle with that is because those guys don't want to be in therapy. Like I make my living working with people who want to be in therapy. So for me, I'm already set up to not do very well with them because they don't want to see me. They have no interest in seeing me as a therapist. They just want to like do their thing. They just want to like go kill people and be psychotic. Whereas like the people that I work with, they seek me out. So I'm not really the guy for that type of situation. If that makes sense. So that's why it's hard for me to even say what I would do, because the first thing I would actually do is say, like, what brings you in and how will this space be meaningful for you? And I have no idea what they would say. Yes, Wolfer, I consider them to be areas of expertise. Performance anxiety, social anxiety, severe debilitating anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder I would consider to be specialties of mine. You should watch Gross Point Blank. It's a 90s Cusack movie where he's a contract killer who goes back home for a high school reunion. There's some solid therapy humor in there. I've never even heard of that movie. I'm intrigued. Myers probably wouldn't say much. No, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd have any interest in talking to me at all. Now, I will say the Rob Zombie Michael Myers, especially when he's a kid, that would be somewhat interesting to me. But again, I still don't even know that kid would want to be in therapy. What did I read wrong, Wolfer? Oh, whoops. Stare at his chest. Okay. All right. Dr. Gerner has done prison therapy. Yes, she has. She talked about that on the interview I did with her. There's so many movies I haven't seen. I'm not a movie guy, so. Somebody told me today to watch Glass Castle, and that's got some good family dynamics. I've never seen that one either. And hello, Chico. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Sam.
It's fantastic. Joan Cusack, Mini. Whatever happened to Joan Cusack? You remember when she was doing the like U.S. Cellular commercials and she was all over the place? I feel like I haven't seen her in forever. All right, Lemon. I will. Trying to find. Okay, there you are. She's on Shameless? Is she? What? Allie watches Shameless, and I've like seen so many episodes of that. I've never seen her in that. You've reached miscellaneous grade 30. You will now receive more likes. Good. A lot of good movies on Netflix, even though there are a lot of parts that don't make sense because they don't direct good, but some are still good. I just don't watch a lot of them. Shameless just makes me feel like I need a shower. I do like the show though, and Frank is my favorite character in that show. I think that he's absolutely hilarious. I know he's a piece of shit, but he also like I admire his cunning. Like, I know I've said this before, and maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I have a lot of respect for people who know how to game a system and somehow manage to make it work. Like, I don't condone cheating, but I do admire people who can cheat and get through the system that way. It's almost like a game. It probably will not be, Assassin. I have a sense that I'm going to be signing off relatively soon. Because I'm pretty tired. Wait, are you going to send me the one that you were talking about, Lemon? The one where it was like you were in just horrific pain? Yeah, I stream tomorrow, Assassin. Exactly, Skog. Exactly.
Thank you for your contribution.
All right, let's go stare at his chest. Hot sauce stream. I mean, I like hot sauce, but if I'm going to be burning my mouth out. If I suffer, you have to suffer. Okay. Guitar stream possible. Tomorrow? I don't know. I actually have my guitar sitting right next to me right now. Funny enough. It's right here. Got it right here. I'm really not prepared.
Complete. Thank you for your generosity.
What if Michael Myers did a William Shatner impression during your session? That would be hilarious. Are you saying that because the Michael Myers mask is a William Shatner mask that got painted white? Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so he's a big, strong boy. That's cool. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why is this happening? What the hell was that? Why is he doing this? I was waiting for him to like snap the camera like a football.